So to conclude the day, we are going to have a presentation by the Director of OECD, Jorge Moreira da Silva. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to join you on the fourth day of the Development Forum of ABDE to talk about such an important topic, development in transition, the history of development in Brazil, not only an impact on the rest of the world, but also bringing lessons for the different processes of development of other emerging countries. So, as many experts have pointed out, especially from the Brazilian development banks, Brazilian GDP was the same in 2019 as in 2012, when the pandemic hit the country and causing a lot of human suffering with a deep recession. So cooperation in the pandemic is a key moment for reinforcing growth through investments in sustainability. And so the impacts are clear. COVID-19 is a warning sign regarding the environmental risks and loss of diversity risks that include viral epidemics and transmission of infections between animals and humans. We know that climate change is a key factor in loss of biodiversity. We also know that it's a fundamental factor in the increase of inequality among nations and within each nation. And so the IPCC has shown that limiting the increase in temperature to 1.5 degrees in comparison with the 2 degrees that have been forecast could prevent risks affecting millions of people, risks related to climate and poverty by 2050. And so climate change is not only an environmental issue, it's a development challenge, a global challenge. And for Brazil, a threat to reduction of inequality as countries around the world reactivate their growth. Those responsible, politically responsible, they are seeking inclusive and resilient recovery, a triple victory for the climate and for economic security.
Sustainable recovery will bring better results in terms of better jobs, growth, health, and well-being. In 2017, OECD published a report showing that low carbon investments and infrastructure combined with structural and fiscal reforms could increase the GDP in 4.6% in all G20 countries by 2050. Investing in climate is investing in growth. And there are excellent and many opportunities of such investments. And in 2018 and 19, multilateral and bilateral financing institutions invested 1.7 billion. And a great part of this financing was mobilized to natural and physical infrastructure. Brazil is among the 10 greatest destinations of international investment. But Brazil's development banks are still underused. And OECD analyzed the role of BNDES in the public-private schemes for infrastructure projects. Last year, we analyzed financial institutions in Brazil working with private and public institutions. The financial system is unique because in addition to individual institutions, the Brazilian system provides a great entry point to possibilities of investment. Even though public-private institutions are increasing in Brazil, it is still incipient. Our analysis show that for the potential to be fully tapped on, governments and development banks need to carry out three main changes and structural changes. First, to reinforce mandates of development banks and incentives for the working and transforming climate change projects, changing businesses and from being exclusive project executors to mobilizing a concept, and also to support investments during and after COVID-19.
Great news that in Brazil, you're learning from your peers and exchanging knowledge on public-private financing within ABDE and also within the IDFC, and participation in in a recent event that occurred November last year. So beyond our work on the transforming potential of development banks, the guide on public-private financing by OECD can also help you in the implementation of effective and sustainable financing mechanisms. In 2020 and 2021 and 2022, we will continue this work and publishing on this issue. And so for this initiative, we will need several practical actions. And so I'd like to invite you to participate and collaborate with our work. We are at the service of development banks all around the world, G20 and strategic partners, to contribute and advance on sustainable finance issues and public-private financing, as well as financial systems that are environmentally responsible and with sustainable infrastructure. So before I end, I'd like to express my deep thanks to our Brazilian partners, especially ABDE, the BNDES, and BDMG, Minas Gerais. Thank you for deepening our joint work on sustainable financing and environmentally responsible investments with OECD as a key partner under the leadership of the G20. Thank you very much.